Well, money is the #1 barrier to students who are pursuing higher education, and finding those funds to pay for college starts with the FAFSA, which stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid.
Okay, last year's FAFSA was revamped by the government, and there were plenty of delays, challenges as well. This year's FAFSA was supposed to roll out in October, but it's been delayed until December now. Priya Linson is the executive director of One Goal, and she is joining us now live with a few tips on navigating the changes to FAFSA. First of all, hello to you.
Hello, Ben and Lourdes. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, of course. I want to start with talking about some of these glitches and some of these issues that they've had. Sort of explain what they are, and I think the fear for a lot of parents and, of course, students is could they fall through the cracks and perhaps not get the financial aid that they deserve?
Absolutely. That is a big fear, especially after the glitches that we experienced last year. Last year, what we saw was the federal government really trying to revamp the form in order to make it more streamlined and in order for young people to have an easier process to access financial aid, both from the state and federal. And so what ended up happening was a significant series of delays and glitches because of the new form. We're really hoping that the form is fixed this year, but we've already heard of a delay between October and December. And so now that there's a 2-month delay in the launch, we want to make sure that young people and their families are really prepared for what they can do.
What can they do? Because if this whole process is delayed, I know there's one person that never waits, and that's the bill collector.
That's exactly right. And the aim is this shortened process, they'll be able to take advantage of all the financial aid available. And so at One Goal, as we're advising students both in high school and as they make the transition into higher ed, we want to help them with a couple of key things. The first is to have a clear goal. Know what you're planning to do after your high school graduation. Make a clear plan with clear steps. But there are also some action steps that families can take to be prepared for this shortened time period of the FAFSA being open. The first is to set up a FAFSA account at studentaid.gov. It's the easiest, most important way to get the process started. But we also want families to start to gather those financial documents that are going to be needed during the process. So tax forms, things like that. And then the other thing that families can start doing is to think about what colleges are going to be a financial fit, starting to explore what's in your market, what might be within your price range, and to start researching scholarships that are available in your state or in your community.
Yeah, because that's a good way to get access to dollars, of course. You mentioned gathering some of the financial aid documents that are needed to apply for financial aid. What types of things? So give me the 3 key things that they should have in place right now. So obviously a parent's W-2 form perhaps, but what else?
I'm going to give you one, and that's tax forms. It's the most important thing that students can gather and make sure that they have, especially for students that might be in non-traditional families where you might be shuffling between multiple family members or parents that live in different households.
And it's those non-traditional families that have seen more of these hiccups when it comes to filling out the FAFSA paperwork. But there are also other avenues to get financial support for college, right?
That's exactly right. We want to make sure that students are expanding all of their options. And the way that we do that is ensure that students are communicating often and early, both with their high schools and with their intended colleges. And so as they're starting to make decisions about what colleges they're considering, we want students to be making those touch points with financial aid officers. Those financial aid officers have the most up-to-date information and are really highly qualified to help students maximize loans, grants, and scholarships.
And as my high school teacher always said, keep track of those deadlines. Know those dates of when you've got to file that stuff, that it's so important.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Priya Linson. We appreciate your time. We're going to share a link to the One Goal website and more from this interview on our website, WGNTV.com.
Thanks, Priya.
Thanks so much for having me.